Hey guys, this is Jimmy. Today I'm going to show you how to use this desktop gummy machine for the first time. So first, after you getting the machine, you need to connect the cable for the controller. The cable is labeled clearly using A to A, B to B, C to C. So we all label them. So just connect your controller to your machine. After controlling, connect the power and turn on the power by switching the switch over here. Turn on the power. After turning on the power, you will see a language selection. Press F1 for Chinese, press F3 for English. Then we will demonstrate it using English. So now we are on the main screen, what we call operation screen. So on the upper right hand corner, it indicates the current mode that we are in. Right now we are in the manual mode. Manual mode means that we just pressing this forward, reverse, deposit or suck to just manually control the machine. So let's right now stay in the manual mode to show you what is each individual mean. So let's press F1. F1 means that for this gummy machine, this conveyor belt will travel forward. Let's see. Okay. F2 means backward or reverse. Then F3 meaning that is called DEP, mean deposition, meaning that the nozzle will deposit some gummy solution in the hopper into our gummy mold. Right now there's nothing in the hopper, but still we could just press F3. We'll heard that it was squeezing the nozzle, and F4 meaning backing up. So let's change the angle to see a better look. Now we are on the back of the machine, so let's try the F3 and F4 one more time. So see, after pressing F3, it means depositing. The piston going inside that squeezing your gummy solution down to the mold. Now I pressing F4 means sucking. So the piston moving back to allow the material in the hopper drop down to the piston. Now let's back to the main screen. Right now, one more set of button I would like to talk about is the on and off button. The on and off button is controlling the temperature of the hopper. So on mean turning on the heating elements over there. You see the red line over there? There is a heating element inside of this jacket hopper. So by pressing the on button, so let me show you. Pressing on, you will see a water flowing sound that's right now in the background. It means that the water, there's a circulator pump and a heating element inside of this hopper. It will heat the water and circulating, make sure the temperature in this hopper is even. Now, since we're not doing a production, we just turn off this heating. So right now I see on, heating. Okay, let's press off. The sound will go away and the heating will be stopped. On the left hand side of the screen, we will see 3 rows. The first row is recipe, second row is deposit time, third row is the reverse timer. So for the first row, this machine can store up to 10 recipe, different type of recipe, because different mold require different recipe because the mold size are quite different. For example, this one is a 1.6 milliliter mold. So in this recipe, and we're going to program this recipe number 2 to fit this mold. For example, you have another type of mold that is much bigger in size, then we can program recipe number 3 into a different size mold. How to change the recipe is easy. So press the set. So now it's going to change the reverse time. So press set again. We'll go to the recipe. It was lighting up, and then we change it to recipe number 1 or 2 or 3 by just this. Okay, after you like the recipe number 2, press enter. Now recipe number 2 is selected. The second row says deposit times. It means that this recipe number 2, it will deposit 25 times because this gummy mold, it has 25 rows in total. For example, if we have a smaller row, we only have 10 rows, then we only need 10 times. This can be programmed later on. The third one is reverse timer. So this is a higher feature that we do not need at this time. I'm going to talk about it later. After selecting the recipe that you like, just hit the start button and this gummy machine will do its jobs. So I just hit the start and then it will just program it. I just put some cleaning water in it to demonstrate a little bit. See, it will be traveling for a certain distance and stop and make a deposit. And this nozzle can be moved left or right depending on your mold spacing and sizes. And this number is counting, so it means that we already done 22, 23, 24, 25. Now 25 is finished. It just stopped right there for the last mold. Okay. Now let's talk about how to set up the perfect recipe for your mold. You see on the lower right corner we have a number 9 and set. It reminds us by pressing number 9 we're going to be able to change some setting. On this screen, the DEP means deposit. So it's all being shortened for DEP, the deposit. So deposit amount and deposit time. So for this first one, because we're using a gummy mold, it's about 1.6 milliliter. So we are using 1.5. If you are going a bigger mold, for example, if you are having a 4 milliliters mold or 4 cc mold, then you're going to get a number close to 40. Just I would say 38. There will be some differences. It's going to be a try and error. So set a number that close to your cc number and then increase it or decrease it based on the observations. And also the second row means 0 because this machine are capable of a larger mold. For example, there's a mold that are, I would say, about a 20 milliliter big. It's like a big chocolate mold. And this machine cannot deposit 20 milliliters for one squeeze. So you would just program it into, for example, you're going to program it 10 milliliters pre-runs, but you're going to run it 2 times. So this machine will stop on the one position and squeeze 2 times if you're putting 1 over here. So 0 means it's not gonna repeat itself. 1 means it's gonna repeat itself 1 time. Okay, after that is DEP, deposit speed. Factory recommend using 60% deposit speed. If you could go faster if you want a faster production rate, but 60% is something that factory agree that this would be perfect for normal use. And for the deposit frequency, it means that how many seconds this conveyor belt travel before it stops. What that means is if we increase this time to, for example, if we increase this time to 1 second, it means that this conveyor belt will travel 1 second before it stops for another run. Right now we are setting at 0.56, so that if this spacing is bigger than the current mold, then we are going to increase this number. So if the spacing between the gummy mold are smaller, then we are going to decrease the times. The last row is deposit times. It means that this program, it will deposit 25 row of slots. For example, if you're using 10 slots gummy mold, then you are going to enter number 10 over here. So how to change it is I'm going to show you here. Just press the step button. So right now we are selecting recipe number 3. We could just change this number to enter into a new recipe and press the set again. It's going to be the speed. Press that again, frequency. Press that again, go to the amount. Press that again, it will be the time. So we will just change it to, I would say 20 times. So it will be running short for 5, okay? Just after you satisfy with this number, press enter. then you're good. There are also advanced setting as well. So go to this page. You see there's an arrow down. Just press this button to get an advanced setting. For the advanced setting, that we have two settings. There's a suck back amount and suck back speed. So this gummy machine, in order to have a nice and crispy deposit, that this machine are programmed to suck back amount of the material after depositing. So it will prevent dripping. So factory recommend the setting is 5 for suck back amount and 50 for suck back speed. I'm going to use this needle to represent the gummy machine to explain better about the suck back amount, okay? So after this gummy bear machine, they are going to deposit a certain amount like this. If we do not have suck back, we might have small amount of gummy solution hanging on the tip of this over there, which might drip down in the middle of this mold, which we do not want. So right after each deposit, this machine will suck back tiny bit to make sure that there's no overflow from the nozzle, okay? So 5 and 50 are recommended by factory. So this is usually generally good enough for most application. We also have a final page of setting. Let's go down. We will see this is the suck speed. We will set at 50%. Hopper temperature is set at 70 degrees Celsius. Remember, this is Celsius. So 100 degrees Celsius mean boil, 0 degrees Celsius mean freeze. So 70 is around 160, 170 Fahrenheit, I think. So this is pretty hot. And do not run this one over 100 because you are using water as a heating element, around the heating element. So if you're going above 100 degrees Celsius, then the water will be boiling and it's not good for the system. So remember to set it down. I usually set it between 50 to 70, depending on the recipe. Sometimes you're doing chocolate, you want it to be hotter, you can go 70. Sometimes you're doing gummy, you want to be cooler, you can set it at 50, okay? So next option is called temperature offset. So this, what this really means is that this usually it should translate into temperature deviate allowances. So if we change it, if with this current setting 0 degree, it means that this machine will turn on the heating even though there's a 0.1 degree lower than 70, okay? So usually we set it to 2 degrees. So make sure that this machine are not turning on and off all the time, okay? So let's set it to 2 degrees. Set. Okay, so we can either use this numbering button or using this on and off, I mean this upper and lower bottom. Okay, we're going to set this temperature offsets to 2 degrees Celsius. Okay, the last setting is called delay conveyor. So right now it's at 0.00, so it means no delay. So usually this is what we recommended, but you can change it to 1 second if you want. What it means is that this conveyor belt will be delayed 1 second after the depositing is done for one row. For example, it's done over here, and then it will delay 1 second after it start moving, and another deposit, and then delay 1 second before moving. Okay, so this is a function that might be useful for some large mold, but it's not useful for our current applications. So the final locking setting right here, it says admin, okay? So this one is allow you to set up a passcode for turning on and turning using the machine. So this is absolutely not necessary. So, and this page is not translate to English as well. So you do not need to program any unlock or passcode for this machine. Just hit exit and ask it. Okay, right now we're back to the usual model. Now, let me demonstrate from start to end by programming this machine to run with a completely new mode right here. So I'm going to just throw a mode here and let's program it. So I know this mode, the volume of this mode is about 3.4 milliliter. So let's go over here and show you how to do it. So just press the number 9, go to the setting. And right now we are going to, let's set this purple mode into our recipe number 3, okay? Just press the set button. Right now, this number 1 is light up. Go to recipe number 3, press enter. Right now, we're programming number 3 for the completely new recipe, okay? And let's first change the deposit speed. So as we talk about, we prefer 60% as a factory recommended. Just press 600, press enter. And then the deposit frequency. So because we noticed that the spacing over here might be slightly bigger than the gummy mold. So we are going to increase this one to about I would say 0.8 seconds. Okay, so we could always come back and change this setting as well. So just press 80. So right now it's at 0.8 second. Okay, good. Enter. And the deposit amount, as I said, is about 3.6 milliliters. So I'm going to enter some number that's close to 36. Okay, just press 6. I would say 350. Okay, enter. Good. And the deposit time, so how many times we want this one to deposit. So we can count how many rows there is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so this gummy mold have 12 for each mold, having 12 rows for each mold. So we are going to enter 1, 2, enter. And right now it's going to highlight this 0. So how many times do we want this additional time do we want the injector to inject into this mold? So clearly this mold is small enough, just 35 is good enough for this size. Okay, just 0 is good enough. Okay, just enter. Okay, and right now it's all set. Let's go to the next page to see if there's any setting that we need to change. Okay, this is set to factory, nothing to worry about. Set to factory, something good. Okay, let's go back to the operation manual. Okay, now let's change. Right now we are still at the recipe number 2. We're going to go to recipe number 3. Just set button. Okay, go to number 3. This way. Okay, hit enter. See, this number will change to 12. Okay, let me change this mode and let's start it. Okay, make sure each nozzle are facing right above the mold. Okay, and we are not using this 2 mold, so we are going to demonstrate how to disable this nozzle. So even though this machine has 10 nozzle, we could still just use a nozzle at a time. Okay, I'm going to show you later, but let's demonstrate the running. Okay, after we set up the mold, we're going to just press the start button. Okay, let's see if the spacing is good enough. Okay. Okay, as I noticed that the 0.8 is a little bit short. It's not. Okay, so it's fully run the 12, okay? But I noticed that when running, it's 0.8 seconds for each spacing is a little bit short. So it's not completely travel through the whole mode yet. So it means that we are going to increase the timing, okay? So we go back here, go press 9, and let's set this 0.8 to a higher number. Okay, let's try 0.9 then. Just press 9, 0, press enter. Everything else, it should be stay the same, okay? Let's try it again. Align the mode at the beginning and press start button. Okay, I noticed that they are just tiny bit short, okay? Right now, we just go back to the setting and change one more time to perfect, okay? Let's go to number 9 and set this 090 to, I would say, 93. Let's try that. Actually, 9 fine. That might be too big. Let's just clear. This 93. Okay. Okay. This looks pretty nice. The setting looks correct and right on. So every time it goes right on, right above the center of the mode, which is cool. Perfect. So this setting is perfect for this mode, okay? So the final thing is, let's talk about how to disable 2 piston if you're running only using a piston instead of using the full 10 piston, okay? The thing is very easy. So just remove this nozzle, actually remove this knob, just unscrew it right here, see the knobs? Just unscrew the nozzle that you do not want to use. And that's how simple it is. So once they are removed, push it forward, or maybe using a small tool over here. So push it forward. Make sure they're pushed all the way forward. And then it means that this 2 nozzle will not come out when we are doing the deposit with other nozzle. Let me show you what it means, okay? So let's do another round using the same mode. See, these 2 nozzle will always stay on the off position while all other 8 are working together. So this is how we disable the last 2 nozzle.